Hello, everybody. Welcome to this week's episode of MGR Unplugged. We're back to talking about streaming video, which is one of our favorite topics.
Live streaming.
Yeah, this is live streaming.
I actually, when I wrote in the email, I was gonna put like streaming battles, but I thought people are gonna think it's Netflix or something.
Right,
and that's not the streaming I'm talking about.
Streaming video wars used to be one of our topics because we really love that one, and it's still ongoing. So the war is not over. Still kind of settling.
User-generated live streaming.
But this is live streaming, and it's very interesting. And before that, we'll probably touch a little bit on the current events, how we are evolving, and it looks like we're going a little backwards with the reopening and all that stuff, which is a little disappointing to say the least. But we'll discuss a little bit of everything. David is in a good spirits today, in pretty good mood. And so am I. Thursday, we're recording this on June 25th, actually. Almost half of the year is over, one more week, and then we'll start the second half. So we'll get started right away. Roll music.
None of you people can tell me to stop. Lower the lights down, hand over my crown, hand over my heart. I do this for my town, I do this for my crowd. So turn me up real loud, my time. None of you people can tell me to stop.
All right, welcome back, David. Thanks for joining me once again. You didn't have a choice anyways. I always force you to join me. That's my
you
favorite.
guys don't see, but he has a gun under the table here pointing straight at me.
My favorite co-host.
By the way, before we start, because we like to talk about our coffee choices.
Ooh, yeah.
What coffee are you drinking today? I saw he tried a new one. What coffee is that?
It's made by Coke.
Oh.
And it's called Coke Zero.
Oh, okay. That's an interesting coffee choice.
And it has ice
He
cubes.
tried to fool everybody. He said he put Coke in a coffee mug and thought he could fool people into thinking he's not.
Well, you
drinking
weren't
Coke.
nice enough to go get me a coffee this morning like you normally do. We're going to run to Starbucks and
I'm not
get our
your
favorite
assistant.
cold brew, salty cream.
Yeah, the best drink is Starbucks, by the way.
Yeah.
The only drink I get, Frappuccinos, that's like a milkshake.
Yeah,
with
no, I don't
sugar.
like that, yeah.
Starbucks cold brew, I got to give them credit. They make it great. I've tried a lot of
It's
cold brews.
it's a hit and miss, but most of the times they actually get it right. It's one of the drinks that I think is more sometimes inconsistent from store to store, from Starbucks to Starbucks. Sometimes the cold brew
And they run
tastes
out
a little
lot.
different. They run a lot, and then the salty cream sometimes is not salty. Anyways, but usually you go get a quick run
That's my recommendation.
and buy one. Today we were both
today,
busy.
he said, I'm just going to have Coke.
We were both selling. It was sales calls after sales call this morning. I started early, like 8 o'clock in the morning with calls on the East Coast and all that stuff. So it went well. So anyways, yes, I'm drinking Coke, okay? So I
Let
have
me
my
ask you this.
Porsche cup with Coke.
Because this happened to me this week. I'd be curious to hear what other people say. What's the earliest that you would schedule a sales call? Because I know you're an early riser. That's the thing.
If the client is a good client and has money, I don't care. I can talk at 3 in the morning.
That's true. If it's a random lead.
Usually, my routine is very early, as you know. I usually get up 5:30 at the latest, and then have coffee, touch base with work lately just to see what happened the night before, and then I usually go work out early in the morning. First, it gets hot, and secondly, I like to get it out of the way. So
my question is because
around 8 o'clock or so is probably the earliest I
okay,
will
that's
set
what
up
I was
a call.
gonna say. For me, I have a Calendly link that I send out to all of our leads, and I started at 8, but we're Pacific time,
Right.
so that's obviously 11 Eastern. Someone asked me a few days ago if I could do a call at 8:30 Eastern, which is 5:30 here. I was like, no. I said, that's 5:30 here. I said, can you do it later? And he says, I'm fully booked for the day. And I was like, oh my God. So that was my question. Obviously, if it was like a big sale or something, I don't care. I'll do
Right.
it.
I mean,
but for
I'm
a random
flexible.
lead that a lot of them are just cold leads and
Yeah.
they don't turn into sales.
Yeah, right.
5:30 is a little early.
The thing with me, I also, as you know, handle all the calls with some of the European clients from Spain,
When
France,
I have
and all
to talk
that.
to
Yeah.
we have clients in Hong Kong.
Yeah.
And that's always a struggle.
Well,
to
those
find the
guys,
right
those guys are
coordination.
like, totally opposite. But with Europe, right now we are 9 hours, Western Europe, and so it's tough because I need to talk to them like 8 o'clock or so, and then it's the beginning of our day, but it's the end of the day. So it's a little more challenging. But luckily, they work later there. They usually have
Yeah, I
a
know.
split journey. or
They're
something.
used to it, I find.
Yeah.
Like when I talk to someone from Australia, they're normally used to working either late or early to accommodate. For
Yeah,
us.
and these days everybody's working from home anyway, so they are pretty
That's
flexible.
how I like it. I like the rest of the world to bend to the American schedule.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And then they never understand that sometimes we're 8 hours, sometimes 9 hours. In Arizona, we don't change. We don't do daylight savings, so we always have pretty good daylight here. So I think we know how to do savings in that sense. So sometimes we're Pacific time, sometimes we're Mountain time, or So anyways, right now we're Pacific time, which is good.
I just always tell people Pacific because nobody understands Mountain time.
I just
always say Pacific.
I love to say Pacific time because really we don't have an ocean
No, we
here.
don't have an ocean. We're Pacific time without the ocean.
I show the palm trees and everything, and I say we're Pacific time. People think they were at the beach. It's like, yeah, we have a long beach. Just the ocean is about 400 miles away, which is really
until the earthquake happens.
Yeah, that will be when California
That's every
becomes
Arizona's dream.
when California becomes an island, which
Yes.
I've been dreaming about, then we'll have a coast.
Yeah,
But
property values.
Yeah.
in Phoenix will go way up. All of a sudden,
you have a beachfront property.
Your $350,000 home is a $3.5 million home, just like
you
that.
go from being in the middle of the desert to having a beachfront property.
That's what I want.
That'll be fun. All right, so we get started with business, man.
Keep dreaming. Okay.
Okay. Somebody's gonna edit all this out of the podcast, and then we trim about 10
Well,
minutes.
I don't care that somebody's not me, so it's not my problem.
All right. So, in other news today, before we get into the live streaming, which at some point will become the main theme of the podcast for today, I was just kind of reading, and we always kind of discuss a little bit how things are going in the economy, and we're always optimistic, but at the same time, we kind of can't avoid reading or listening to the news, and it just seems like we're going a little backwards now. And it's not just in the U.S. I mean, I read, news from Europe and other countries, and it's like everybody's reopening now because they're fed up with being confined and all that. And we're realizing that, there's more testing, which means more people test positive now than before were probably asymptomatic and they didn't know anything. And now that more people are being tested positive, and then including athletes and all that stuff. And then the other thing is that people are kind of relaxing their discipline as far as the traditional things. They're wearing the mask, they're hand washing, all that stuff. And obviously, cases, the virus is still around. It doesn't discriminate or anything. It doesn't know that it's always summer, whatever. So bottom line, cases are increasing again. And in the U.S. specifically, we have Texas, Arizona too, Florida, whatever states are, California. So now we're going a little backwards. Where this morning, actually, and this is again June 26th, the governor of Texas announced that he's pausing all this reopening process. He's halting it.
But I'll say this. This is my... Now, if you've listened to this podcast for a while or watched, you know that I was very early on the virus, telling everything to shut down. But I will say, I mean, when we reopened everything, we expected there to be a second wave. We talked about it for a long time. It's not like you can just reopen and it just goes away. Of course, there's a second wave. But I think that a lot of the new cases, because the death rate isn't going up. That's the thing. If it was like cases and deaths were going up, okay, well then it'd be a problem.
No, I agree.
But deaths aren't going up. Like Arizona, I was looking because obviously we live here, and the cases have gone up a ton in the last few weeks. But the deaths per day have not gone up at all. They're basically the same as they were 3 weeks ago, despite way, way, way more cases. And I think part of it too is that a lot of people who are probably getting it now are younger, healthier people, 20s, 30s, whatever, who are sheltering in place, but probably didn't need to, as far as for their own health's sake. Now, it's for others and so that older people don't get sick. But I think now it's probably just, especially when you look at the protests and stuff, that's all young people that go there, or majority young people. People who are going out and stuff and going to parties and stuff. Again, normally it's younger people. So maybe more young people are getting it, but they're not going to be dying, basically. So I don't know. We'll see. If deaths start going up again significantly, then obviously we're gonna have a problem. So we'll have to see. But
Yeah,
deaths haven't gone
and
up
even
yet.
before deaths, the main thing is you overwhelm the hospital system or the healthcare system,
And
which is the
they'll
main
say-
thing. When you run out of like the main peak of the pandemic was like there were not enough ventilators and
Well, that's the
masks
thing, though.
and
We've
everything else.
learned how to treat it better too. Now.
Right.
Like the ventilators, they say don't use ventilators now. I don't know if
Right,
you've
that's
heard
kind
that.
of exactly.
And then I don't know why this is political, but the hydroxychloroquine does appear to work. You know, that's what they're
It's
using
amazing.
in France.
That is the thing that has been going back and forth. I don't know how many times it works. It doesn't work. It's proven not to work. It's like
I started. The funny thing for me is, so to give a little insight, back in February, before we had any shutdowns, anything, we were having debates on this podcast, and I was personally looking to see what could be treatment for it, just
Right.
for my own sake. And back in February, I didn't end up buying it, but I was just because I didn't trust the source. But I was this close to buying hydroxychloroquine online back in February from some Canadian website or something, because I guess in Canada you can buy it, but in America you can't. I don't know. I just didn't trust the source, so I didn't end up buying it. But this was in February because there were already people in Italy and in China who were saying, oh yeah, we're using this for treatment. And this is before Trump had ever mentioned it, any politicians had ever mentioned it, and they were talking about it. And so I came this close to buying some just to have on hand. I was like, well, in case I get sick, I have this.
yeah,
Now it's become so politicized.
Yeah.
I don't really get it. It's like, why is
Everywhere,
this political?
everywhere. I
Does
mean-
it work or does it not work?
but I mean sometimes they say that it's not for treatment; it's for prevention. Sometimes they say
See,
it's
I've heard the
more
opposite. I've heard it's for treatment. You don't
alleviate
wanna
the
take it.
alleviate the symptoms. Sometimes they say it's not proven that it works.
No, I mean the how it works very, very, very simply is basically it's a zinc transporter, I believe. So you take it in conjunction with zinc, and zinc stops the RNA replicase. So how the virus spreads through your body is
It
basically
attaches to your protein. Yeah,
it uses RNA replicase, but zinc can shut down RNA. I'm using a very basic analogy here, but basically the zinc can shut down the RNA replicase, but zinc can't get into your cells by itself. It needs hydroxychloroquine to pass through the
to
cell
break the
barrier.
barrier, to get inside,
So that's basically what it does.
Well,
I don't know
it's
why that's political.
It's a
basically.
malaria drug. Everything is political these
Right.
days. It's whether I mean it's that's a whole different topic. But it's like whether you wear a mask or I mean everything has
Yeah,
become.
the mask being politicized is the dumbest.
It's like
fucking
everything that people do or say or not say becomes political now. Whether it's on the masks or even in the Black Lives Matter and this, you kind of need to think twice now before you say something because
The Black Lives
we're-
Matter, I understand, is being
we're
a
in
little
an
more
election year
politicized,
now,
but
and-
the
and-
pandemic, I don't.
Right. Yeah, that too. Obviously, the Black Lives Matter movement is pretty serious, but even some of the comments and repercussions and going one extreme or the other extreme or whatever, like obviously the thing that happened in NASCAR is kind of embarrassing, to be honest. That all the
Well, that was not true, right?
right, that's the thing.
Okay.
That they created all this
Right,
thing,
right.
and now it turned out that it wasn't planted, that it had been there forever, blah blah blah, stuff. So, which is fine. It still woke up the sport, and we're switching topics.
For those who
quickly
don't know what
here.
we're talking about,
I'm sure.
there's one black driver in NASCAR, and he
Bubba
found
Wallace.
Bubba Wallace, and I guess he supposedly found a noose in his.
Not
garage.
him. One of his crew members. He didn't even see it. One crew member, one person on the team found it.
Okay.
And then it became this thing like it was planted, blah, 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 and other stuff. And then the FBI investigated. It turned out that
Right.
it was
That
not
it wasn't
planted.
real.
It had been there for a year. It was just basically like a pull string or rope that they used to close the garage. And
Right.
yeah, it looked like a noose. Maybe it was a noose. It was shaped like that, but it had been there all the time.
Right.
And,
Someone didn't plant it.
Right.
Because it was Bubba Wallace's garage.
Right.
basically.
It just
Okay.
happened. It was just there all the time with that shape or whatever. And so, anyways, the whole, all this movement and all the NASCAR community together and this and they obviously they're fighting against the Confederate flag and all that. I mean, it was a big movement, which is good. It's needed because NASCAR is probably the most retro sport of all as far as adjusting to the new times, basically, or what it's supposed to be. So, but now they are turning back on like Bubba Wallace, saying, "Oh, there's a driver that needed attention or something." It's like the guy didn't do anything.
No, I don't think he did it for attention.
No, he didn't do it intentionally. He didn't need the attention. He was totally overwhelmed by the reaction. He was acting very humbly, and frankly, I think even if it wasn't true that it was planted, that's actually a good thing. is
Well, yeah, of course.
were basically
No,
better than
because
we
when
think.
I did hear that happened before it was said false, I was like, oh, that's a fucking
I know
shitty thing
exactly,
to do. I mean,
exactly.
That's
So, and if anything, woke up NASCAR to show how united the drivers, the crews, the ownership, and everything is. As far as saying, hey guys, let's.
I was actually surprised that NASCAR banned the Confederate flag.
Well, they've been trying to do it for a long time.
I mean, good for them. I just
Yeah.
didn't think they would do it because
Yeah.
I think a lot of their fan base would be upset, and they were, but
Well,
they did
fuck
it
him.
anyways.
I mean, we don't need those fans. I mean,
No,
seriously.
I know, but
It's just.
you know, I think most people know who the majority of NASCAR's fan base
Yes,
is. And
we know.
It's not New York Metropolitans.
But also
It's-
the demographic, the average fan is 60 years old. So they need to basically,
true.
that's what happens. All these guys are like super old. So anyway, so pandemic wise, we're having like a quick summary. So hopefully we'll be getting over this, and this little step backwards that we have now is because of all the reopening that we had 3-4 weeks ago, and then the demonstrations and all that stuff. And hopefully, I'm not surprised that it's happening in the States like it's happening now.
No, I mean, of course, I expected cases to go up if we reopen.
Right, but
things.
it's amazing that we have more states: Florida, Texas, Arizona, California. Guess what? Those states are actually the southern states where you have better weather, where people are starting to go out. They're just basically going out to restaurants.
Yeah,
and
but
this
they're
and
also
that.
the states where a lot of people don't want to wear masks.
Yes, exactly. So, but the states that were more heavily confined stuff, I mean, they're okay, and we'll see. Well, like I said, the death rate is not really
The death rate, you can't look at it as a national number. You need to look at local numbers. But the overall U.S. death rate is still going down per day. It's not going up.
Right.
So that's the good news,
Right.
basically.
And it's the same thing in Europe. Is the same thing is happening. They're all starting to opening, allowing travel intra-community, European community or European Union. They're opening the borders for them. They're still not accepting, as of now, foreign travelers from the
By the way,
U.S. or.
There's no way that Europe bans travel from the U.S. It's not going to happen.
I don't know.
They lose so much money. There's no way they do that. There's no way.
Yeah, but they also lose money if they all of a sudden they get into another pandemic. They need to shut down. So
I don't think we're shutting down again. I think it could get bad and people still wouldn't shut down.
yeah, I don't know how much the American traveler. First of all, how much American traveler is willing to travel. Number one, overseas.
I think people are.
Yeah, they are maybe, but maybe some people say, okay, we're still local or something. And secondly, it's not so much they're willing to travel; it's getting on an airplane and this, and then going to a country where you don't know exactly if you get sick, what's going to happen. It's a little different. And then. Secondly, even in Europe, I mean, people in Europe move a lot. I mean, Germans, British, all that stuff go to Spain, and they cross all the time, and they're not even that sure that there's going to be so much tourism. I mean, they're already expecting a big drop back in, like, especially Spain. Spain had like 35 million tourists in the summer last year, and they expect this year to be less than half. So that's a big hit for them, because that's
Right.
Spain's
Spain and
economy
Italy, they're number one.
is mostly.
What is it? Not export, but their number one
tourism.
economic activity is tourism for
exactly.
Spain and Italy.
So, all right, so we're gonna switch topics now. Let's go into live
let's Twitch topics.
Twitch. Yeah. Okay. All right. I'm gonna cut that out because it was
terrible.
a bad joke.
I apologize.
But we're talking about Twitch, which I admit I don't know much about the back end of Twitch. I know that Twitch has been broadcasting major sporting events, especially during this pandemic. A lot of sporting events and athletes and gamers and all that stuff have used the Twitch platform to broadcast games and things that they do, even real life things. So, but it's really, I have to admit that I didn't know that Twitch was managed or owned by Amazon. And
a lot of people don't. I think even Amazon
I don't think
sometimes.
and it's actually, if you have,
Give my joke.
yeah, what?
I said I think even Amazon forgets sometimes that they own Twitch.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Because they completely
Well, but it's part of
neglect
Amazon.
it.
It's part of Amazon Prime.
Yes,
So,
it is.
which I just found out. I mean, we're Prime members, and then if you're an Amazon Prime member, you have Twitch Prime,
Right.
which is the counterpart, which means that you have free access to all the Twitch platform and all that stuff. Obviously, you need to sign up and all that. But anyway, so you actually did write about Twitch being the unsung hero, the unknown platform for live stream that people need to keep an eye on in doing your e-commerce weekly news.
Right. The reason I talked about it this week was because on Monday, another platform, competitor to Twitch, went out of business, and that was Mixer. And Mixer was Microsoft, basically. And Microsoft bought Mixer in 2017 or something. And the reason why that's significant is because Mixer was the first one, because they were way behind as far as viewership. Basically, like I put in my email a graphic. We don't have to pull it up, but as far as live stream viewers per month for each of the major platforms, and Twitch was number one with just about 150 million basically viewers per month in March, and then YouTube was second, but pretty distant second. I think they had like 60 million or something. And then Mixer had like 2 million.
Yeah, I remember the graphic.
Way
Mixer
behind.
was like various lever. It was columns and then.
But the reason Mixer is significant, and I actually miswrote in my email the amount they paid some of these live streamers.
But you say it went out of business, but
They
it was
shut down.
but it was acquired by Microsoft. So Microsoft decided to
No.
discontinue.
Yeah, so Microsoft acquired it, and now they're shutting it down.
Oh,
basically.
Microsoft is shutting it down.
Microsoft's shutting
Okay.
it down. The reason it's significant, though, is because Mixer was the first company to pay big money to streamers to basically join their platform. So what Mixer did last year, and by the way, they failed so fast. They did this in August last year. They went after Ninja and Shroud, who at the time were the two largest streamers on Twitch as far as viewership, as far as income and all of that. And basically, I underestimated the deal. So what I wrote in my email was that they paid Ninja $30 million and Shroud $10 million. I was wrong. That's what they got because Mixer's shutting down, that they as guarantees, so they still get that money even though the contracts are basically ending now much sooner. The Ninja deal was $100 million, not 30. So basically, they gave mega deals to streamers, and in hopes that basically they would draw all of this audience from Twitch, and that other streamers would then see how much money Mixer was giving out and want to join Mixer as well.
Well, how does Microsoft benefit from those, even if that had worked? If
Because
people were
Microsoft,
breaking-
like everybody, I mean, how important on the list of things it was for Mixer to succeed compared to all other Microsoft's endeavors, I don't know. Keep in mind, Microsoft's a huge company, so
Oh, right, but that's what I kind of always wonder. What's the drive behind acquiring these platforms?
well, because if you can own a platform, the biggest fault or weakness of Microsoft these days is just they don't own, besides basically legacy Windows, they don't own any platforms anymore. You know, they're not what they used to be. They're much more enterprise now than consumer, basically.
they are on the cloud for them, or their
Right.
OneDrive or whatever they call it.
They're all in on cloud and enterprise now, which is great because they make a ton of money.
and the gaming part, the Xbox. And all
Well,
that.
even Xbox, there was rumors they were going to sell Xbox.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I don't know if that's going to happen. They said maybe they'll keep it now, but yeah, I mean, because Xbox used to be the number one console, PlayStation beat it, and now Xbox is behind PlayStation and PC. So it's, and I think Nintendo actually passed it too. So they're falling down. But anyways, point is, Microsoft doesn't have much as far as consumer goes these days, besides legacy Windows, which has been around forever.
Right.
And obviously Surfaces and stuff, but that's not a primary profit driver basically
Right.
for them. So why do they do it? Because they want to try it, and they could, and they have a ton of money. Because to Microsoft, you know, a few $100 million it's a lot of money, but to them it's nothing. So they tried it, but it failed.
So
basically.
Twitch, so basically,
So Mixer got the two largest streamers in hopes that they could bring a lot of audience with them. The problem was that audience would watch those two guys, but then leave immediately. They wouldn't
Right.
watch anything else on Mixer, basically. There were other issues. People said that they didn't like the interface, that it wasn't great for streamers either, or the user, or lots of issues basically. And they did this, you know, not even a year ago, 10 months ago, and they already shut down. So they sold off the remnants to Facebook Gaming, because Facebook has their own live streaming stuff. But it looks like the contracts that Ninja and Shroud are free agents. Basically, they don't have to go. They can go, but they don't have to. The rumor is now that YouTube might swoop in and sign them to big contracts to stream on YouTube Live. Because really, the two big dogs in live streaming are Twitch is number one by far, and then YouTube is second.
I was surprised. I thought YouTube actually was doing quite a few of live streams.
They are.
Like I know that
but they're not as big as Twitch.
Some of the podcast stuff do a lot of live streaming.
Yeah,
they do some sports too, right? Don't they have agreements with some of the?
I think they had an MLB agreement for some games, and I'm not sure exactly. But as far as live streaming goes, they do. I mean, but just not nearly. They're a little under half the size of Twitch as far as live stream viewership goes.
But Twitch, for all I know, or the little I knew from the beginning, was live streaming mostly of gaming or video gaming and esports and things like that. Whereas YouTube, if he's the competitor, was more like sporting events or a few leagues and things like that.
No, YouTube is not sporting events. I mean, they bid on those things, but YouTube is just anything you want to stream.
Right. Like
there's tons of live shows and podcasts. They have tons of gaming too.
But no, okay. But Twitch was primarily known for gaming.
Yeah,
and now it's just branching out to everything else.
Right. What I wrote on my email was that Twitch has been known and is still known for gaming today, and is still there's tons of. And by the way, gaming itself is growing massively. Like the thing that I try to convey to people of older generations that I think they don't always understand is that gaming now is completely mainstream for the under 30. Like girls play games, guys play games, jocks play games, you know, like okay, I'm a Suns fan. Devin Booker, who's the best player on the Suns, he's streaming on Twitch constantly, especially during the pandemic. He's always playing games and streaming. So it's not like a nerdy thing or anything anymore.
Well, I was looking, just preparing for the podcast, and it says Twitch demographics, it says, is very young, obviously. 72% is people under 34. With 26% of the users being between 13 and 17. So that's a pretty young. It's almost like a Snapchat type.
I would say the biggest audience for Twitch is 13 to 25, probably.
Could be, yeah, based on these numbers. Amazingly, you said guys and girls. 80% of the users apparently are male or young guys.
As far as viewers go, yeah, I mean, it's still more males than females, but I mean, a lot of the biggest streamers on Twitch are girls, actually. And as far as like girls playing games, girls play video games just like guys do now. You know, it's different, but my point is that it's mainstream now. So the stigma of gaming being the center of the platform is lessened. But even beyond that, they are growing beyond gaming. The number one category on Twitch now is not so Twitch, when you go on it, is broken down into categories, and it used to always be either like League of Legends or Counter-Strike or Call of Duty, Fortnite, various video games, basically.
Yeah.
The last year, over a year now, the number one category by far has been what they call just chatting, which is basically anything that's not gaming. And that is now, the non-gaming category is now the largest category on Twitch. So it's outpacing all of those.
Right. And that's a good point, because I actually became more familiar with Twitch as during the pandemic, when most of the sporting events, especially racing that I follow pretty closely, and Formula One and all that stuff, and the drivers were having their Twitch broadcast, like you say, live streams.
Right. What's his name from McLaren?
Lando.
Yeah, he's always on Twitch.
Yeah, he's a big Twitcher, if that's what it's called.
Streamer.
Twitcher. Anyway, so yeah, those guys were having this, but not only were they having this league, so to speak, of racing with gamers and racers, real racers driving at real racetracks, you know, e-game stuff. And they were broadcasting that, but also they were also broadcasting or live streaming a lot of things from the personal life, like getting a haircut, like doing this and that. And they gained a lot of fans.
IRL, in real life streaming.
Yeah, exactly.
Is big now.
IRL, exactly. That's the acronym, which is funny because I saw IRL. I thought it was like the defunct Indie Racing League, which is another race group that doesn't exist anymore.
That's only you, buddy. I don't think anybody else would be confused by that.
Well, when IndyCar separated, there was IndyCar or Champ Car and IRL, the Indie Racing League, which was the one that ran the ovals. And then they basically realized that was a bad idea and they merged together again. But anyways, that's the IRL that I knew, not the in real life or something. But to to get to the point, yeah, a lot of the younger generation drivers and everything were doing a lot of Twitch or live streaming of normal things of their life, and all the fans were connecting with them and interacting and all that stuff, and to the point that the FIA, the sanctioning body, the International Federation, said this was an eye-opener for us because maybe we can simulcast. Most of the Formula One races are actually now pay-per-view or behind-the-wall paid advertising, depending on the country. But most of the countries have, in Europe specifically, you had to pay the rights to watch the races. Here they are on ESPN, I believe, free still. But so they were thinking about having a simulcast where you had the official race with all this information, all that stuff on pay TV, and then you have a Twitch broadcast or live stream, which is more like behind the scenes, the drivers and all that stuff, So, but that's the way, as you said, the newer audience, which is what they're trying to reach, not the guys that are retiring 60 years old, whatever, but the younger audience is more into engaging, and you can engage and have comments, and then the audience actually is like the spectators. I mean, when action happens, there's a lot of comments and things going on. When something is more quiet, it's less comments. So I think it's a whole different experience of watching live events. And the Twitch guy in Europe, the programming director or whatever the title is in Europe, was saying that I think he said basketball, motorsports, and I think soccer maybe were the three main sports that they wanted to target as far as doing like simulcast or live streams and things like that. So
yeah. I think Twitch will be in the next probably 5 years or so not seen as a video game streaming platform, but just seen as a streaming platform, basically. Mm-hmm. It's like every business, right? Every business starts with a niche and then grows out of that niche eventually. And I think Twitch did that too. Twitch really started as Justin TV way back in the day with Justin Khan and all that. Right. And then they turned into gaming, which back then it wasn't gaming. And then they found the reason they went into gaming in the first place was because on Justin TV, the biggest category was always gaming. And so they basically were losing money, and they decided to go all in on gaming, and it worked. And then basically, I think in 2016, Twitch or Amazon bought them for $1 billion. And now Justin Khan doesn't work there anymore. But that's basically the origin story of Twitch. Now, the reason I said that in my email, why I said this was relevant to e-commerce, is because Amazon's biggest weakness is that, if you listen to this podcast, I think you know that we think, and I think a lot of smart people in the e-com space think, that the future of e-com is social commerce. Right. That's why Facebook is coming with Facebook Shops and Instagram Live Shopping and all these things. And the future of commerce will be social commerce. The biggest weakness that Amazon has is they don't have any social commerce, basically. They don't have any social aspects to Amazon. Right. They have a platform, they have a marketplace, but they don't have anything social. But they do own Twitch. And live stream shopping, I think, will be massive. And they own the largest live stream platform in the world. So describe a little bit how live stream shopping, because Amazon came up with Amazon Live or something a while ago, and nothing really didn't take off. We actually talked about it here. We did. And the thing that amazes me is like, so Amazon launches Amazon Live, which is basically like a QVC home shopping network.
That's what it was.
On Amazon, basically. And it's like, why are you trying to launch a whole new thing? You own the largest streaming platform in the world. Use it.
Right.
Use it. I don't understand what Amazon's thinking is. That's why I joke, like, I think even Amazon forgets that they own Twitch sometimes. Mm-hmm. They own the largest streaming platform in the world, and they really don't pay any attention to it, or really, I don't know why you spend $1 billion on something. I mean, for Amazon, maybe they don't care. That's nothing to them. But you own the largest streaming platform in the world. You paid $1 billion for it. You've done nothing with it. So are there any Amazon sellers or even e-commerce sellers that are using Twitch? No, because I can't believe okay, my roadmap, if I'm Amazon, if you're an Amazon exec or Twitch exec listening out there, this is the roadmap for me personally. Amazon's biggest weakness is they don't have social commerce. And Twitch just showed by beating out Mixer, even though they poached their two largest streamers, that they have such a powerful platform that they continue their growth and they don't lose basically any users at all when their two biggest people leave the platform. So that shows the power of Twitch. The difference between Twitch and YouTube also is that Twitch Twitch not just has more viewers for live, because you think that YouTube would easily be able to convert people who, the billion plus users they already have watching videos to watch a live video now too. But the difference is Twitch has the community. YouTube doesn't have community in the same way that Twitch does. So Twitch has really shown in the last, I think, 6 months its real power in the fact that they've beaten YouTube, who has way more total users but can't convert them to live viewers, and then it's beaten Mixer, who took away their biggest streamers. And so my point is, if I'm Amazon and I know that my biggest weakness is that we have Facebook shops and Instagram live shopping and all these things launching, and Google shopping is now getting integrated with YouTube as well. So all of this social commerce, Amazon has nothing social about it. It will still be a big platform, but it has nothing social about it. Twitch is that social ability. I can't believe that they haven't actually integrated like storefronts into Twitch.
But do you think it might be because, as we said, Twitch audience is a 17-25 majority. Obviously, they go up to 30s, mid-30s, but maybe that's not the audience that Amazon, the typical, I don't know what the demographic of the Amazon buyer is, but I'm not sure if it's...
The 16 to 30 is like the most coveted.
It is coveted for sure. And I understand.
In the world.
Yeah,
and they have a
wider,
platform.
even to 45 or something, but... Maybe Amazon thinks that we promote our products on Twitch. First of all, we can only promote certain products that this audience will get, not other products. And then maybe they limit what kind of products they can promote, because obviously the audience that is going to view those may or may not
Twitch,
be.
like I said, is going to grow out of just gaming, and they're going to be the streaming platform. Anything. You can stream anything. In the same way that YouTube used to be more niche categories, now YouTube is literally anything, any
do
interest.
you think, Twitch may grow out of gaming, but do you think the users or the viewers will grow into Twitch? I mean, will you convince a guy in his 50s or 60s saying, oh, now you can use Twitch to watch baseball or something, So that's, I think, a little bit of the retrofit.
I think so. Yes, just like every other platform, just like they said.
Well, it's true.
Older people would never use Instagram. Now everybody's on Instagram.
Well, Facebook is even more. Facebook users are now the
Facebook
age
is
group.
old. But I'm saying even Instagram. Now, even Instagram is considered old. Lots of Gen Z don't even like Instagram anymore because there's too many old people on there, they say.
Right.
And then just like TikTok was too young, now everybody's getting on TikTok. People always say, oh, older people are... That's bullshit. It's been disproven time and time again.
Yeah, no, it's funny that you say TikTok because TikTok has grown tremendously in the last, I don't know, maybe 12 to 18 months.
Yeah.
And they actually specialize in very short little video segments, like 10, 15 seconds. Whereas,
but TikTok has live too.
Right.
And that's growing really fast too.
Right.
It's very similar to Instagram.
And then you have, on the other side, you have Twitch, which is for long format streaming, basically long programs, basically. So, but my biggest question is, why is Facebook / Instagram not doing more in this area? Because Facebook and Instagram have Instagram Live, and they have all this,
Well, they are. They're releasing Instagram Live shopping and Facebook Live shopping. So that any influencer or whoever can literally just promote a product and have a link, and someone with one click doesn't need to leave Instagram, leave Facebook, even leave the stream. They can buy right there. And my point is, Amazon should do that. They already have the whole infrastructure back end done. If I'm Amazon, I'm going to all of the top Twitch creators and saying, okay, we're going to create custom storefronts for you on Amazon. Okay, so you can have amazon.com/whatever your name is, and that's your store, and you're going to get a commission from everything. Not only that, when you go on Twitch, below every video, you can have all of your shit right there. And because people's Amazon and Twitch accounts connect, they can buy now with one click. And guess what? You get a commission on every single one of those clicks. And you can promote those things. And then we can even do brand partnerships and create custom products for you and list them on Amazon. There's so many things Amazon could be doing. They're not doing any of it. And I don't get why. There's so many things they could be doing.
Yeah.
And especially, like I said, when their biggest weakness is that they have no social commerce aspect. And that is going to be the biggest e-com trend of the next 5-10 years is social commerce. This is their chance. Live stream shopping, I think, will be huge. And I'm not making any crazy predictions. Just look at China. China is 5 years ahead of us in e-com. What is the biggest the biggest e-com source of revenue besides Alibaba.com. Live stream shopping. By far.
No, I understand. I'm
far.
just kind of thinking that maybe one of the reasons why Amazon may not be jumping into this, or at least so proactive, is because they're already being hit with possible antitrust regulation and all that.
I don't think so. Because you know why? You know why I don't think so? Because 75-year-old regulators don't know what the fuck Twitch is.
Well, I understand, but they still regulate, so I completely agree with that. But
you go ask any congressperson.
but there's
what's
also
Twitch, I bet you they can't answer
but
that
it's also
question.
proof, as we also document here or say here, that Amazon is already kind of under investigation or under scrutiny because they take their own sellers' products and then knock them off and then make them like Amazon. What is it? Amazon.
Like private label.
Yeah, but what do they call Amazon Special or something? Amazon.
Well, they have Amazon Basics, but then they also have their own custom brands.
Right, Amazon Basics. So when you become successful, if they can, they're gonna copy your product and then they make it Amazon Basics, and then they actually rank their products higher, so organically, unless you pay. So if you have a product that is a good seller and all that stuff, Amazon Basics knockoff then basically becomes it's basically competing against their own sellers. So I don't know. That's a complicated thing, and it's similar to Google and all the stuff that we know that the organic versus the paid search and all that. But I wonder if Amazon is saying, okay, well, we have controlled completely e-commerce, we control also Amazon Web Services and a lot of streaming platforms or support for a lot of other companies, and now we get into the social media part. They may say, okay, well, they may separate us, and they may kind of look into the situation. So, even though I agree, I mean, they own Twitch already.
They own Twitch.
Right, they bought it.
They own the largest live stream platform in the world, and they do nothing with it.
Yeah, especially when they did make all that noise launching Amazon Live on video and didn't take off. I haven't seen any of those videos.
No,
I mean,
it
they were
failed because nobody watched it.
Well, it was supposed to be, like you said, the QVC of Amazon, and you have a product there, and they had these celebrities actually starting with those, and then
that's
you
my
watch
point. They create storefronts for celebrities and stuff. Like I saw one for Chris Pratt. I forget who else, but they
Kathy Ireland.
They started doing the storefronts for even Amazon Prime shows. Mm-hmm. So what's the one with Heidi Klum, her fashion show?
Oh yeah. They brought Runway, Project Runway.
Project Runway.
Yeah.
They bought the rights to that show.
Right.
And they integrated. So now there's a Project Runway store on Amazon, and the designs you see in the show, you can go to Amazon.com/Project Runway or whatever their URL is, and literally buy what you just watched. They already do this. It's not like they are incapable, but they just, it's like they don't care about Twitch. And my other point is, Twitch they bought for $1 billion. I don't know how much money Twitch makes.
I was going to ask you that. What is Twitch source of revenue?
Different things. Obviously, ad revenue.
Where is the ad? How is the ad revenue, or how do they place the ads? I'm not a user.
It's like YouTube. You have.
Okay,
if you
so
go to
you
watch
have
a stream,
banners.
there's a pre-roll. The streamers themselves can go on commercial break and play ads. Then they have subscriptions. So you can subscribe for $5 a month to certain streamers. That's what Twitch Prime is. Twitch Prime is you get a free subscription every month. Mm-hmm. So part of your Amazon Prime, you can give $5 a month to your favorite creator or whatever.
Okay.
Things like that. So that's how they make money, and they split that with the creators. Now, I don't know exactly how much money Twitch makes, but basically they bought Twitch for $1 billion, and YouTube is now worth over $100 billion. There's no reason why Twitch could not be a platform that by itself is worth tens of billions of dollars for Amazon, and driving billions in revenue. I don't see why they couldn't do that. Driving billions of e-com revenue for Amazon.com through Twitch.
Does Twitch allow you to create your own channel like YouTube? Yeah,
it's no different than, it's basically, it's pretty much the same as YouTube, except you do shit live instead of posting videos, basically.
But
instead of pre-recorded, you do it live.
So you can only do live. Like if I could do
they have clips too. So if you do a live stream and then you want to take clips from the stream and post them to Twitch, you can do that too. Most of them do that.
Okay, so but like the traditional majority of people on YouTube, they record a video, edit whatever, and then they post it on YouTube for distribution. So they use YouTube more of a distribution platform more than a live stream platform.
Right.
Majority of people.
Right.
So is Twitch able to provide the same service? Like basically I can record a video of whatever and then just put it out there on my channel and then say, okay, this is it. I never actually did a live.
No.
So you can only go to posting a clip after the live version has been created.
You can post a clip of something live you broadcasted.
Okay.
But not like just upload videos. I don't think you can do that.
Okay.
And if you can, I don't think many people do that.
Okay.
That's
so,
not their thing. They're not trying to compete. They're not trying to, they know they're not going to beat YouTube.
Right.
But they
exactly.
can beat YouTube on live streaming.
Right.
You know.
So when you put the video live, obviously you put it as is. You cannot edit things out or say, okay, well, that didn't turn out very well or whatever.
No, it's live.
Right. It's live. Okay. All right. Yeah, I was trying to separate what are the unique differences between what Twitch does versus YouTube. Like I said, I mean, they're not trying to compete with them. YouTube is well established. And
YouTube is trying to compete with Twitch.
right.
YouTube
more
Live.
capturing more of the live shows.
YouTube Live, they're really pushing it. But they haven't been able to get the viewership that they wanted, which just shows the power of Twitch. That basically, that YouTube, despite having 10 times the users of Twitch, has only half the amount of live stream viewers and haven't been able to
I think
them.
for what I've seen, I think Twitch also has much more infrastructure ready
Yes.
for the live shows as
Yes.
far as standards and broadcast standards. That YouTube is basically any person with a camera can just hit YouTube Live and then it's recording all the stuff, but it's whatever, it's better for indoor situations or something. Twitch has more of a behind the scenes platform for broadcast standards of making things live as far as codecs and things like that. So it's definitely more suited for that. Yeah, I don't know why Amazon is not.
It's their biggest, honestly, gem that nobody talks about. Amazon never talks about. I never hear in any of Amazon's quarterly calls or anything a single mention of Twitch. They never talk about it. It's like this thing they bought for $1 billion and then they just started like, whatever.
Well, yeah, I mean, a company just buy things just to invest.
Well,
R&D.
the funny thing is, if people don't know, YouTube was buying Twitch. How it happened was, I think Google had an offer for $800 million to buy Twitch, and it was pretty much done. And then in the 11th hour, Amazon swooped in. It wasn't quite $1 billion. It was like $970 million, basically. At the 11th hour, swooped in with a much better offer. Google didn't match it. Amazon bought it. YouTube was this close to owning Twitch. If they owned Twitch, YouTube and Google would just own video on the internet.
Do you think YouTube would have continued to develop Twitch or just absorb it into YouTube? Because, I mean, it's a little difficult for them to...
I don't know. I
Right.
can't answer that. But
because YouTube now has YouTube TV, which is a subscription.
YouTube's biggest weakness is in live, actually.
Right.
Basically, they own pre-recorded video. Nobody's competing with YouTube on pre-recorded
Live
video.
user-generated, but they have live shows on their YouTube TV subscription.
Nobody watches YouTube TV.
Really?
Nobody. Oh.
The subscription service?
Okay, sorry. I thought you meant the YouTube like shows.
No. I'm talking about the YouTube TV subscription.
Yeah. That's
the
different.
streaming type.
That's different. That's
Right.
different. But that's more like bringing cable to the internet.
Right.
I don't mean that.
Right.
I mean, user-generated live streaming.
Right,
That's what I
right.
mean.
Yeah.
And that's the biggest weakness as far as the video space goes, is they don't have anything there. Or they don't
I think
have
in that
much.
sense, it's much easier to do Facebook Live or Instagram Live or any of those other platforms.
But it's different because Instagram Live is good for a shorter form live stream. If you're going to do a 10, 20-minute live stream, Instagram Live's fine. But Twitch streamers normally go for hours and hours. You don't want to do that with Instagram Live, basically. And it has a full interface. It's just different. Like Instagram Live is good for a spontaneous live. Oh, let me just go live real quick, or let me just do a Q&A.
Well, there's people that do Q&A
But they
stuff
do.
that are-
Twitch is more like, it's almost like a real like broadcast channel. Like, okay, and people have schedules, so they literally say like 8 a.m.
Right.
to noon,
10 to
I'm
11,
doing this,
yeah.
and blah, blah, like they have full schedules. It's their full-time job, So, it's their biggest hidden gem that they don't do anything with.
So for the average user, you download Twitch and you use it on your phone or any other device. It's free, basically, like any other social media platform.
Yeah, it's free, and then you can support channels by paying.
Paying.
basically.
Okay.
And my point is, the other thing too is, Twitch viewers are willing to spend. That's the crazy thing. They subscribe for $5 a month to a person they like, just to give them $5 a month. They don't really get anything in return from that. Sometimes they do exclusive stuff. They have everybody on Twitch takes donations. So people donate all the time. There's plenty of people who will donate 10 to 20, 50, $100 a month to their favorite streamer.
Yeah.
For nothing in return.
Right.
So they're willing to spend. So just put products on there,
So-
and then have the streamer. But the streaming is very similar to podcasting, and that you feel an intense connection with that person. Because if you're in the same way that if you listen to someone talk for a few hours, you feel like you're almost having a conversation with them. It's the same with streaming. You know, if you're watching someone stream for 3 hours, you're gonna feel a pretty intense connection. So when they promote a product to you, your conversion rate's gonna be really high. So and they're willing to spend. They show that they're willing to spend. I mean, the majority of their revenue is from donations and subscriptions, not from ad revenue.
Right.
So that the proof is there, basically. So I don't know why Amazon doesn't do it.
So if you were to forecast where you see Twitch going in the next 12 months, you think Amazon will even do something, or is just going to
In the
continue?
next 12
I think, in my opinion, just because I'm like an outsider looking in, and I see that Twitch has grown more. To me, I'm not a gamer, obviously, but I'm more of a sports fan that likes to have sports on the go. And sometimes the platforms that are the traditional platforms, that whether it be cable TV or broadcast channels or even paid TV, subscriptions and pay-per-view, are a little bit of dinosaurs now. It's like, okay, I want to watch something when I can.
Yeah, but the
from
problem with
wherever
those
I am.
stuff is they need licensing rights. Twitch
Right,
can't just
which they
stream
do.
that.
I mean, they did a test. Twitch actually did a test last year with a couple of races and qualifying sessions where they were only broadcast on Twitch. And I like, what the fuck? I mean, I didn't have Twitch. I didn't know what it was. I said, okay, fuck it. But apparently it was very successful. I mean, as far as how many people actually tuned in, you know, and they gained subscribers and all that. Right. So, and obviously during this pandemic, it became like a big explosion for a lot of, like I said, athletes using
We
it.
haven't mentioned esports at all either. And esports, you know, the thing that about esports is during this pandemic, you don't need to be in person to
Right.
play esports. So esports is still the biggest thing on Twitch. You know, when they have world championships for different games, they draw millions of live viewers.
So what I was going to ask you is, where do you see Twitch growing in the next 12, 18 months?
12, 18 months, I think they're just going to continue their steady growth. And I don't know if Amazon's going to do anything particularly. But I would see in the next 3 to 5 years that Twitch moves out of just being a gaming platform or game streaming platform and is just known as the video streaming platform. Anything you want to stream or watch streams, you can watch. If you want to watch cooking streams, you can watch it. Sports, talk radio, whatever. And games, obviously. Gaming continues to grow. But they will be much more than just... Like, I'll give you another example. Last week, the #1 category on Twitch, can you guess what it was?
No idea.
Chess. Chess. Because Twitch did a tournament with chess.com.
What was the sport that we were watching on ESPN the other night that it was like, I would never thought this would be on TV?
Oh, cornhole.
Yeah.
They were good. We were watching it. They're sinking it. They're like,
No.
I don't know if everybody, you know,
Nothing
if you
but
played
net.
cornhole.
Nothing
I
but
mean,
hope.
they literally would throw it and it was like boom, boom,
I
boom,
know.
perfect.
It's like I watch all these
was amazed.
dart competitions.
But my point
cornhole.
is, chess, what they did was really smart, was that they did a tournament with all the top Twitch streamers. And they had real grandmasters. They had one of the most popular streamers on Twitch is actually Hikaru Nakamura, who, if remember on Billions, the guy
Yeah.
who was there?
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
him.
Yeah.
He's one of the top streamers on Twitch now. He's a chess grandmaster. He's like the 4 or 5
So
time
I could see
chess
Twitch.
champion. But basically, chess, which is, I love playing chess, is the most boring thing to watch in the world.
Absolutely.
Chess tournaments are so boring. You sit. This is a chess tournament.
Talk.
That's it. That's
Yeah.
chess. Okay?
Let's see the replay.
But-
oh, look how he moves his hand and
No,
touches the
obviously
opponent.
not. It's about the moves. But
Yeah.
it takes great commentators to make it entertaining, and even then, it's not entertaining. But my point is, chess. What they did was really smart. They took all the top streamers. They had them get mentored by different grandmasters, and the grandmasters basically for like 2 weeks were teaching them live how to play chess, and people were watching. And then last week they had a tournament that basically all the top streamers in a bracket played, and it got tons of viewers watching chess, basically.
I think that's part of the pandemic. People are bored to death and they want to watch
No,
something.
I mean, I actually watched some of it. It was actually
No, I know,
entertaining.
I know.
You know, because you take these people who have great personalities, teach them how to play chess, and then they're live commentating over them playing chess. And my point is that this is how Twitch is expanding, basically. Chess is like, they take something that's boring and mundane. It's fun to play, but it's boring to watch, super
Right.
boring to watch. And they actually made it really entertaining. And it was the #1 most watched thing last week on Twitch was chess.
But the thing I'm thinking too, I mean, you and I listen to a lot of podcasts and TV shows and people, personalities, whatever, and it's so hard. There's so many sources of information right now. It's so hard to basically be with everything. I mean, like if you say, okay, I'm gonna watch something on Twitch, and then I have some other YouTube
I
person.
look at it differently.
YouTube person that I follow, and then I check my Instagram or something, or maybe I need to post something on Instagram, and then I barely touch Facebook, or sometimes I get comments that I need to take a look at, and then it's like, where you get the time for everything? I don't know. I don't know
look
how
at it
you start.
differently.
Now we're in a. It's like a big bang where we're expanding, and
Yeah.
then at some point it's gonna be like a consolidation phase where.
Yeah, but here's the thing. I think people mention that all the time. They're looking at it from the lens of they used to live in a world where you could keep up with everything, where there's only a few TV channels, there's a few major media companies. That's not the world we live in anymore. So the answer is you will never keep up with everything, and you shouldn't try to keep up with everything. You should keep up with the things that you want to keep up with. And the way I look at it is not, there's too many things. It's no, there's not enough. That there's enough so that basically there's a million multi-million-dollar niches now, when that didn't used to be the case. And so now there's Twitch streamers with millions of followers who earn millions of dollars a year, who if they walk past you on the street, you have no fucking clue who they are. Right?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And that's the
But-
case in so many areas. And I think it's that there's so much opportunity. Like, I think that you can easily have a millionaire content creators when that never would have been the case before.
No, I understand that, but as a user, it's like you have this kind of fear of missing out, like saying, oh, if I don't check my Instagram, I may miss this thing that these other people are talking about, and I have no idea what it is. And then Twitter, this big thread on Twitter about this topic that became hot and controversial, and then it's like, I don't even check Twitter. And then you go on YouTube and you have
Yeah,
this.
but does that matter?
I don't know if it matters. I mean, it's
if
just,
you miss some trending topic on Twitter, does that affect you?
well, it doesn't affect me. I mean, I'm not big into social media, but for those who actually want to be always kind of in the know with all the latest trends, like I listen to some people who says, yeah, did you see that video of this person and blah, 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 which went viral? It's like, okay.
But trends on what? I mean, I care about trends in certain areas, but I don't, like, some people love celebrity gossip and stuff like that. I don't care at all.
Right.
I don't watch that at all. When people ask me about any celebrity relationship or what, I don't know anything. But hey, that's what they like, and they keep up with that.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I keep up with things that they probably have no interest in. I love basketball. To them, maybe basketball is super boring. I can tell you any trade and the rosters of any
that is
basketball
true
team.
too.
So it's just what you're into. You love F1. I don't really care about F1. So you can
Yeah.
tell me every driver for every team. You can tell me who designed the car, who's this year's sponsor, all that stuff. I can't tell you any of those. I know Lewis Hamilton and Vettel. Oh, Vettel retired now, right? So there you go.
No, retire at the end of the year.
Okay.
He's still
Well, there you
running
go.
this year.
So-
Don't pre-retire him. He's still gonna race. Which, by the way, F1 starts next weekend. So that's good. That's gonna be exciting.
But that's my point, that you have infinite niches now, and people can just follow what they want and the things they care about. And at the same time, creators have an not infinite, but many niches that they can make not even just a living, like a great living. Like,
Yeah, well-
you're going to have, like I said, when I say a millionaire creators, maybe that's a bit extreme, but you could have hundreds of thousands of creators making hundreds of thousands of dollars a year really easily.
Well, Twitch has basically Twitch TV, they call it now, which is the studio beta, Twitch studio beta, which is supposed to be for content creators to create their own shows and all that stuff. So we'll see how that develops. But I agree. I mean, I think Amazon needs to, maybe they have some kind of hidden agenda they haven't advertised yet, and they make some kind of big launch or something. But
Amazon, Bezos,
yeah,
call me. Okay, I can tell you how to turn Twitch into a $10 billion a year revenue source. You just gotta fucking monetize it. You have 150 million users that you don't care about. It's unbelievable. Oh, and 150 million users, by the way, who avidly spend on people and have tons of discretionary income, tons of time to spend watching streams.
That is true. Yeah, Amazon is well, for one, they're finding a lot of competition now, as we know. Last week we discussed the partnership between Shopify and Walmart trying to take on Amazon, and then there's
it helps ail your biggest weakness.
Facebook shops, and
no
then
social.
A lot of big brands are leaving Amazon. We discussed that too, like the Nikes and so forth. And so they need to. I remember always when I read the biography of Bezos that he says, I always every day start my company like somebody's going to take it out of business.
And this is the thing.
And that's basically happening little by little. They're trying to chip away the advantages that Amazon has.
I know Bezos is always not looking at what Amazon is today, but what it could be 5 years from now.
Right.
And I think he should know, and I'm obviously they know these things. They're not stupid. This is what they do. But I'm saying that Amazon, I would hope, understands that 5 years from now, social commerce will be the biggest driver of revenue, and that they have no plays in social commerce at all. And Twitch is their opportunity.
Right.
And that's what they need to take advantage of.
And I think the other big advantage for Twitch is that, if anything, we've seen during the last 3-4 months how a lot of DTC brands have basically grown a lot or bloomed, with this situation. And it'll be ironic if these DTC brands start using Twitch to promote their own products.
I think they will.
Well, I know,
in fact,
but the thing is that they're steering away from Amazon because they want to market or sell directly to consumer, yet they're using an Amazon platform, which is Twitch, to get to where they want to be.
Of all the types of content marketing, Instagram content marketing is totally oversaturated.
Right.
Blogs, newsletters are still good, but they take a lot of, you have to be very high quality to stand out from the crowd, right? YouTube videos even, it's live streaming for content marketing.
Right.
Nobody's doing it yet.
Right.
There's no brands that are doing live stream content marketing. That will be the next big one.
Right.
That 100%.
So yeah, I mean, I'll be curious to see how many DTC brands create their own channels.
You will see brands create their own, basically, almost like TV channel where they basically stream 8 hours a day and have different content. In fact, you know who actually just did it? That is so, I was like, okay, very niche audience. Cloudflare.
Oh, really?
Cloudflare.tv. It's a 24-hour stream, and they basically have it's like a TV channel.
What do they promote?
Dedicated to like cybersecurity and stuff like that. And it's a very niche audience.
Cloudflare is a CDN, content distribution network.
Right. I'm sure people have seen it just because a lot of websites, when you go to them, it says Cloudflare is checking your whatever. But Cloudflare, Cloudflare.tv, you can go to it. And 24-hour streaming, they have the whole program scheduled there. And you can see 10 to 11, this person is going to have a talk with this person, CEO of whatever, McAfee, about all stuff like that. Cloudflare, a 24-hour cybersecurity channel.
I know.
But that's my point. That this is the niches. If I told you that 5 years ago, you'd be like, "Who watches that?" And guess what? Cloudflare doesn't care that 99.9% of people don't watch it. They care that all the CTOs and CSCOs and all of these people watch it. That's what they care about. And what they do? No. What is it? Cybersecurity of. You know what I mean. Head of cybersecurity, I forget. It's like CSCO or something.
Yeah.
They care that those people watch it.
Yeah.
And that, guess what? When next big company needs basically help with their cybersecurity, they write $100 million check to Cloudflare in a mega contract. That's what they care about.
Well, I'm going to check it out for sure. I'm going to sign up, create my own account.
Go for it. Well, you already have an Amazon account, so you already have Prime.
Yeah, but it doesn't sync up. I mean, I have Prime and I have access, and it says, I just did it this morning, actually. I tried to sign up, and I use my Amazon credentials, and it says that it's not. You need to sign up with a Twitch account, and then you can access Prime and all that. But it wasn't using the same. So anyways, I'll try it later. I'll get at my account. For one, I'm definitely curious to see, the sporting part. I'm not so much into the gaming myself, but I want to see how it works, and then be a little more of a practitioner than just
Go to the Just Chatting, because there's like, in there's political talk shows.
Right.
There's actually financial shows too. I mean, it's all types of stuff. It basically, I think the long-term roadmap is that 5 to 10 years from now, Twitch will replace live cable news and all of that, and it'll just be on Twitch.
Exactly. That's what I was saying. That as the audience becomes younger, they say, screw CNN, screw CNBC, whatever.
Here's a bet. The next CNN will be on Twitch. And I don't think it will be CNN. I think it will be someone
CNN
else.
Sucks.
That's what I think.
All right, David. We need to start wrapping it up. But did you have any other? I forgot. We had a couple of things that we wanted to discuss later, but I'm not sure if we should do it now or.
I think we covered everything. We talked about the pandemic.
Okay.
Streaming.
No, there was something else, but I forgot. But I think we should just leave it for the next episode because it's been over an hour now. So, So to wrap it up,
I've talked enough for today.
Yeah, definitely. No, I'm actually, sports-wise on the fun side, we're gonna have a very busy second half of the year if the plans don't change. I'm still a little concerned about the NBA, to be honest. I don't know exactly what's gonna happen in Orlando.
It'll be fine.
With the Orlando bubble.
It'll be fine.
I know it will be fine, but you cannot disregard the fact that all these things are making people...
It's Florida. There's hundreds of millions of dollars on the line. It'll happen.
Yes, I know. It'll happen because I think it's kind of late to backtrack, but also it might be a little... I mean, I see the pressure on the commissioner and all the stuff to keep things going because there's players that are a little concerned about going. Some of them have backed out. Then Orlando now has... a lot of cases, Disney World has just basically pushed back the opening that they were supposed to open July 17th or something like that, and then they said they're going to push it back. So that's another little thing. But MLB supposedly is coming back with a reduced schedule. NFL, no changes so far other than a reduced opening or preseason. Auto racing has been around, NASCAR stuff in Europe. Not F1 is starting next weekend. So we'll see. I mean, I'm excited. It's going to be packed with sports. MLS is coming back too. So
big one.
Hey, I don't watch MLS, but I do watch European soccer.
It's pretty bad that you are a pretty avid soccer fan and you don't watch any MLS.
It needs to be some kind of.
So that tells you how good the quality of the
product is. I watched El Tráfico last year. That was a derby between the LA teams, and it's very nicely called El Tráfico because that's all you find in LA. So. But I've been watching actually some Spanish La Liga and then German League and Premier League is actually pretty
I watched some EPL the other day. I was desperate for sports. I said, EPL game.
Unfortunately, the EPL is pretty much decided. Liverpool is way out of reach for Manchester City, who's the second team, and I think they are one tie or win away from basically securing the league. So... anyways, that's all we have for today. This show is brought to you by MGR Agency, which is our parent company. And I don't want to give you the whole rundown of what we do, but basically we specialize in everything that is digital marketing and e-commerce. So if you have any of those needs, please be sure to visit our website at mgragency.com.
If you're a D2C brand and you're interested about Twitch, email me because I'd be fascinated to talk with you about it. I mean, I'll talk for free because I would love to talk to a brand about what they think
I love talking to clients.
David at mgragency.com.
Yeah, and I wish more clients did what we suggest to them. I'm not saying telling them what to do. They obviously have their own agenda, but
I'll do some free first mover advantage consulting because I would love to just talk about brands.
It's a little
talk with brands.
It's a little frustrating when you go to clients that are and friends actually that are own companies and they have very important positions in different companies and they act one way when they're in their personal lives with YouTube and Twitch and this and that, and then they get to their office. It's like they have a split personality. Then they become super conservative. No, we cannot do this. Let's do this print ad, and this is like, what the fuck is a print ad? You know, who's watching this? Whatever. Anyways, that's a whole different story. But thank you for joining us today, and we'll be here again next week with another episode of MGR Unplugged. But until then, everybody have a great weekend. Bye-bye.